WorldComEdu. Easy Story House. Elementary level.
Once upon a time, there lived a widow and a widower. The man had a daughter. The woman also had a daughter. The two daughters were friends and played together. The woman said to the man's daughter, "Tell your father that I want to marry him. Then you can wash yourself in milk every morning and drink wine. My daughter will wash in water and drink water." So the girl went home. She told her father,
"Father, my friend's mother wants to marry you."
Her father said,
"What should I do?"
The girl said,
"Don't worry, Father. She promised to take good care of me."
Her father was happy. He went to the woman. He said to the woman,
"Marry me."
She said, "Yes, I want to marry you." The woman didn't like the man's daughter. The man's daughter was beautiful and kind. But the woman's daughter was ugly and unkind. Winter was here. There was snow on the hills. The woman made a dress for her stepdaughter. The dress was made of paper. She called her stepdaughter and said, "Put on this dress and go out into the woods. Get me a basketful of strawberries." The girl said,
"But strawberries don't grow in the winter. There is snow on the ground. The ground is hard, and it's cold outside."
But her stepmother said, "Go and get the strawberries. Don't come back until you get the strawberries." Then she gave the girl some hard bread. Her stepmother said, "Here is some hard bread. You can eat this all day." The girl took the bread. She wore the paper dress. She went out in the cold with the basket. Snow was everywhere, and it was very cold. In the woods, she saw a small house. 3 little dwarfs lived in the house. They looked out the window. The girl knocked on the door. Knock, knock. The first dwarf said,
"Come in. It's cold outside."
The girl went into the house. She sat on the bench. The dwarfs saw her bread. The second dwarf said,
"Give us some of the bread."
The girl said,
"Of course."
She gave her bread to the dwarfs. The third dwarf asked,
"Where are you going?"
The girl said,
"I am looking for strawberries."
The third dwarf said to the girl,
"Here is a broom. Sweep the snow next to the door."
She was outside, and the second dwarf said,
"What can we give her for her kindness?"
The first dwarf said,
"She will grow more beautiful every day."
The second dwarf said,
"Gold pieces will fall out of her mouth."
The third dwarf said,
"A king will come and take her away."
The girl swept away the snow. Suddenly, she saw strawberries on the ground. she saw ripe strawberries. She gathered a basket full of strawberries. She said goodbye to the 3 dwarfs and went home. The girl told her stepmother everything, and gold pieces fell out of her mouth. She also grew more beautiful every day. Her stepmother was surprised. The girl's stepsister was angry. She told her mother,
Mother, I want to look for strawberries too.
So the girl's stepsister went into the woods. She found the little house in the woods. She knocked on the door. Knock, knock. The first dwarf said,
Come in, it's cold outside.
She went into the house. She sat down by the fireplace and ate her cake. The second dwarf said,
Give us some of your cake.
The girl said,
I don't have enough.
She ate all her cake, and they gave her a broom. The third dwarf said,
Here is a broom. Sweep the snow next to the door.
The girl said,
No, I cannot sweep the snow.
And she walked out the door. The second dwarf said,
What can we give her for being so unkind?
The first dwarf said,
She will grow uglier every day.
The second dwarf said,
A toad will jump out of her mouth.
The third dwarf said,
She will die.
The 3 dwarfs didn't like the girl. The girl looked for strawberries. She didn't find any strawberries. She was angry and went home. She told her mother everything, and toads jumped out of her mouth. The stepmother was very angry. One day, she gave her stepdaughter some yarn. She said to the girl, Go to the river and wash the yarn. Just then, a carriage was passing by. The king was inside the carriage. He saw the beautiful girl. He stopped the carriage and asked the girl,
Who are you? What are you doing here?
The girl said,
I am a poor girl. I am washing the yarn.
The king said,
Will you come with me?
The girl said,
Yes.
The king took the girl to the palace. The king said to the girl,
Marry me.
The girl became a young queen. 1 year later, the young queen had a son. Her stepmother was so angry. One day, she went to the palace with her daughter. They went to the queen's room. They threw her out of the window into the stream. She put her ugly daughter into the queen's bed. She told the king, The queen has a high fever. You can't see her. That night, a duck came into the palace kitchen. The duck was the queen. The queen said to a servant, Where is my son? The servant said, He is asleep. Then the duck turned into the queen and took care of her son. She came for 3 days. On the third day, the queen said to the servant,
Tell the king to take his sword and swing it 3 times over my head.
He told this to the king. The king came with his sword and swung it 3 times over the duck's head. After the third time, the duck turned into the queen. The king was very happy to see the queen again. But he was angry with the stepmother and her daughter. The king said to his men,
Throw them out of the window!
The king and queen never saw the stepmother and her daughter again. And they lived happily ever after.